A woman does not respect the man who bends. She respects the man who stands. This is the law of power that Machiavelli would have whispered to you. People, including women, are not moved by kindness or reason, but by strength, scarcity, and control. Most men waste years chasing approval, sending endless messages, adjusting their lives around her moods, and end up ignored. But the men who carry real value play a different game. In this video, you will see the exact code that makes that difference. You will learn why boundaries create desire, why scarcity ignites obsession, why calm dominance bends emotion, and why a man who lives his mission becomes unforgettable. Watch until the end, because once you take this in, you will stop begging for scraps of attention and start commanding respect and desire without saying a word. Let's begin. Here's the first move if you want to be treated like a man of value. You must create the game instead of playing hers. Ordinary men fall into the same trap. They step into a woman's world, bend to her rhythm, and hope to be chosen. They ask what she wants, follow her lead, and become just another disposable piece on her board. That is why she never truly respects them. The man of value flips the board entirely. He decides the frame. He does not ask where the night is going. He declares it. He does not beg for entry into her world. He creates a world she feels compelled to enter. Imagine this. Most men nervously say, "Where do you want to go?" But you move differently. You already chose the place, the vibe, even the pace of the evening. You don't explain. You don't justify. You simply lead. And when she sits across from you, she feels it, the weight of being pulled into your orbit. Machiavelli would have whispered to you, power is never requested. It is assumed he would have warned you that the moment you wait for her approval, you've already lost. He would have encouraged you to move like a prince at court, calm, decisive, aware that authority is not granted, but demonstrated. The practical key is clear. Stop asking for permission to lead. Start embodying it. When you invite her, don't ask if she wants to go. Tell her what you're doing and let her choose if she joins. When you speak, cut the nervous filler. Let silence thicken the air and make your presence heavier. When you enter a room, move as if the space was already yours. Every gesture becomes a message, not spoken, but felt. And the message is simple. I lead, you follow. That's when respect appears. That's when desire awakens. And that's when she knows she's not guiding the game. She's playing yours. Here's the second move if you want her respect and desire. You must set boundaries that cannot be bent. Most men believe that being flexible, always saying yes, always adjusting to her moods, will make her happy. But what actually happens? She loses respect. She begins to see him as clay to mold, not stone to lean on. And no woman dreams of clay. A man of value understands that every boundary is not just protection, it is attraction. When you calmly refuse what does not serve you, you are showing her that your dignity is higher than her whims. You are not rude, you are not aggressive, but you are firm. That firmness is what makes her feel safe in your presence. Because if you can defend yourself, she knows you can also defend the bond you share. Let's set the scene. She cancels a date at the last minute. The weak man apologizes for her, begs for another chance, offers his next free day. The strong man says, "No problem, maybe another time," and goes on with his life. He does not argue, does not chase, does not explain. And that silence is louder than any words. It tells her, I don't bend, I don't beg. I move forward, Machiavelli would have warned you. Every concession plants the seed of contempt. He would have whispered that the man who abandons himself to please ends up despised, while the man who guards his standards is sought after. Boundaries are not walls to keep her out. They are signals that tell her where true value lies. The key here is to act with calm consistency. When she tests you, don't overreact. Don't shout. Don't argue. Simply hold your line. When something violates your principles, say no, not with anger, but with certainty. When you are firm once, she feels resistance. When you are firm every time, she feels respect. And respect, in a woman's heart, is the root of desire. Because deep down, she doesn't want a man who bends to her world. She wants the man who makes her rise into his. Here's the third move if you want to ignite her desire. You must master the art of scarcity. Most men drown a woman in constant attention. They send message after message, they chase with calls, they stay available every moment, and they wonder why her interest fades. The answer is simple. What is always available loses its value. The man of value moves differently. His attention is like rare wine, measured, slow, unforgettable. When he is silent, she wonders. When he reappears, she feels it in her body, a spark in her chest, a rush of blood, a pulse that quickens. His presence is not ordinary. It is a privilege, and privileges are chaste. Think of it this way. When you flood her with your time, you teach her to take you for granted. But when you give her space and return only with intent, you teach her that every interaction matters. Machiavelli would have told you, rarity sharpens desire, while excess destroys it. He would have warned you that the man who is always present is soon invisible. The key is to live fully in your own world. Let her feel that you vanish into your mission, into your goals, into your own rhythm. Then, when you step back into her orbit, she feels the weight of your presence. Not because you begged for her attention, but because you denied it long enough to make her crave it. Scarcity is not a game. It is the natural reflection of a man who does not live through her approval. And once she feels it, she will realize your attention is not a right. It is a reward. Here's the fourth move if you want her respect and her desire. Your mission must come before her. Most men make the fatal mistake of rearranging their life around a woman the second she shows interest. They cancel workouts, they skip plans, they pause their ambition just to make themselves more available. At first, she might enjoy the attention, but soon something shifts. She feels the weight of a man who has no center, no purpose beyond her. And nothing dries attraction faster than a man who exists only for her approval. The man of value is different. He is already in motion. His life has direction, weight, purpose. When she steps into his world, she doesn't feel like she owns him. She feels like she has been invited into something larger than herself. That friction, that sense that he is not fully hers, awakens a hunger in her chest. She starts to lean in, to fight for space at his side. Imagine her watching you at work, focused, unshaken, or seeing you train, sweat dripping as your eyes stay fixed on the goal. She realizes you are not a toy to be distracted, but a force to be joined. In that moment, attraction is born not from what you give up for her, but from what you refuse to sacrifice. Machiavelli would have whispered in your ear, "A man without purpose becomes prey. A man with purpose becomes a prize." He would have warned you that the second you trade your mission for her approval, you are no longer leading, you are following. The practical key is this: never stop moving forward. Let her see that she is not the center of your world, but that she can walk beside you if she proves worthy. You don't abandon your path for her, you give her the chance to step into it. And that chance feels like gold. Because here's the truth: a man with no mission is a distraction, but a man with a mission becomes her obsession. Here's the fifth move if you want her respect to grow instead of collapse. Your generosity must be rare, precise, and authentic. The weak man tries to buy desire. He floods her with gifts, compliments, and sweet words until they rot on her tongue. At first, she smiles, but soon, those gestures lose their weight because they were not born of truth. They were born of fear, and fear never creates respect. It creates contempt. The man of value gives differently. His generosity is scarce, like rare wine poured only at the right moment. A single compliment from him cuts deeper than 100 from another man, because she knows it is not given lightly. When he touches her hand softly, without need or commentary, it lingers in her memory like a secret, a signal that she cannot decode but cannot forget. Think of this. You are sitting with her, and while she expects the usual stream of validation, you give her silence. Then, at the right moment, you lean closer and say, "You looked incredible when you walked in." Nothing more. Then you move on. That single phrase will echo in her chest all night, because it was rare, unexpected, and real. Machiavelli would have warned you. The value of a gift lies not in its abundance, but in its timing. He would have told you that when you flood someone with gestures, you make them cheap. But when you hold back, when you give sparingly, you create scarcity, and scarcity is the root of desire. The practical truth is simple. Do not flatter to gain favor. Do not give to avoid loss. Give only when you mean it, and hold your silence when you do not. She must learn that your words and gestures are treasures, not trinkets. And once she learns that, she will crave them like fire in the cold. Because the man who gives everything is forgotten, but the man who gives little at the right time, in the right way, is remembered forever. Here's the sixth move if you want her to feel both safe and unsettled in your presence. Master the calm that bends her emotions. Most men ruin themselves because they cannot sit in silence. They react too quickly, with anger, panic, nervous laughter, or a flood of words. The weak man exposes his insecurity every time he tries to fill the void. But the man of value knows that calm is power. He knows that silence is not emptiness, it is pressure, and pressure creates desire. Imagine her voice rising in argument, expecting you to snap back. Instead, you lock eyes. You do not flinch. You let the silence grow heavy between you, a storm building in the air. Her instincts fire in confusion and attraction. Why is he not breaking? Why is he not bending? That stillness feels like strength, and strength is irresistible. Or picture a softer moment. She leans forward, teasing, trying to get a reaction. The ordinary man would rush with compliments, desperate to impress. But you pause. You let your gaze travel slowly across her face, then you smile. Just slightly. Just enough. That pause hits harder than any words could, because it forces her imagination to work against her. She starts wondering, what is he thinking? What is he planning? Why do I feel this heat rising in my chest? Machiavelli would have whispered that a prince who cannot master his emotions will always be mastered by others. He would have told you to weaponize your calm, because unpredictability keeps power in your hands. So here is the truth. Never rush to react. Never let her control your rhythm. If she shouts, grow quieter. If she tests, grow calmer. Your composure becomes the frame she cannot escape. And once she tastes that energy, she will lean into it, again and again, because her instincts crave the man she cannot shake. The calm man does not chase her fire. He forces her to bring it to him. Here's the seventh move if you want her attraction to sharpen instead of fade. You must learn to say no with calm authority. Most men are terrified of the word. They believe refusing her will push her away. So they cancel plans, rearrange their life, sacrifice their standards, all in the hope of staying close. But every time you bend, you silently tell her, "My value is smaller than yours." And nothing kills desire faster than a man who abandons himself. Now imagine the opposite. She invites you last minute, expecting you to drop everything. The weak man rushes to agree, proving that his world revolves around her. But you don't flinch. You tell her calmly, "Not tonight. I already have plans." Then you go back to your life as if nothing happened. That absence burns more than presence, because it shows her she cannot fully control you. And here's the paradox. Your refusal does not push her away. It pulls her closer. Why? Because scarcity creates value. If you are not always available, every moment with you becomes heavier, more significant, almost sacred. She realizes your time is a privilege, not a guarantee, and privileges are chaste. Machiavelli would have warned you that he who cannot deny will always be denied. He would have told you that power is not shown in how much you give, but in what you refuse to give away. So understand this. No is not rejection. No is a crown. No is proof that you stand firm, that your world does not collapse without her. And that is exactly what makes her want to step deeper into it. A man who says yes to everything is forgettable. A man who says no without fear is unforgettable. Here's the final move, the one that separates the forgettable from the unforgettable. You must learn to lead without words. Most men think dominance is noise, louder voices, longer speeches, endless explanations. But the man of value knows the opposite is true. True dominance is quiet. It is not begged for, it is not announced, it is simply felt. Imagine this. She watches you in a room full of people. You are not trying to prove yourself. You are not clinging to her side. You move with purpose. You keep your word. You command with your silence. When you speak, people listen, not because you demand it, but because your presence already set the tone. She feels it in her chest, that pull, that invisible gravity. Machiavelli would have whispered that the most feared prince is not the one who shouts orders, but the one whose presence alone makes others fall in line. He would have told you that words are wind, but posture is iron. This is the truth. A woman does not follow a man because he talks about leadership. She follows the man who embodies it, the man who walks with direction, who does not hesitate, who makes decisions and lives with them. The man who does not need validation because he already validates himself. When you master this, respect becomes automatic. Desire becomes instinctive. She doesn't choose to follow. She cannot help it. And here's the warning. This is not just another step. This is the final code. Without it, every move before weakens. With it, every move before becomes unbreakable. Lead without words, and you will no longer need to chase, to beg, or to explain. She will already know. This is the moment where everything comes together. You've learned that women don't surrender to the man who bends, but to the man who stands firm, who lives his mission, who gives scarcity instead of begging, who holds his ground with calm fire, and who leads without noise. Each piece alone is powerful, but when you embody them all as one, you stop being just another man. You become the man she cannot resist, the man she respects, the man she remembers long after you've left the room. This is not just about women. It is about how you live. When you claim this code fully, you stop reacting and start ruling. You no longer fit into her frame. You create your own, and she rushes to step inside it. Respect becomes automatic, desire becomes natural, and your presence becomes unforgettable. Carry this truth with you. A man of value does not chase, does not beg, does not explain. He hunts, he leads, he builds, and the world adjusts to him. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.